Yo, how's it going, you guys? We're back with another rant video, and this time it's a genuine one because how many of you guys, like myself, are tired of typing Sparking Zero in frame one? All you see is why the game failed. I'm tired of it. I know some of you guys might be tired of it as well, but I've talked about this on my past video and many different occasions on why I feel like people jump on the bandwagon. And as bad as I think Sparking Zero may be now, I certainly don't feel as though the game is as bad as a lot of people make it seem. And I'm one of the people that think that the game was hate farmed until the eventual state that we have. Now, I'm not going to sit here and downplay the lack of quality that we got. Clearly, I feel like the devs and the general game management was way, way undersold compared to what we all thought we were going to get. Let's be real, the maps, the end game content, a lot of the stuff that we were supposed to have, as well as mechanics, were sold short. Like, I can't even tell y'all how sold short this shit was. But, however, I do feel like for the Sparking Zero game that we got, for the game that we have, majority of the people that are making the content that they are only doing so because it's the latest trend. Most people don't actually hate Sparking Zero as much as they claim they do, and most people don't even actually care. But because the YouTube algorithm deems that they need to talk about how bad the game is by saying that there's a problem or the latest trend, what's wrong, how Sparking Zero died, that's all you're gonna see. And it's kind of been like this since December when I went to my father's house. If you guys didn't know, I dropped YouTube for a couple of months due to him being sick. I didn't have really a choice. I went over there, and while I was waiting, coming with a plan to come back, I would search YouTube and Sparking Zero every once in a while, and all I would see through my timeline is the problem with Sparking Zero, the problem with the game, the problem with the community, the problem with this, the problem with that, the problem, and it just got really, really annoying and boring. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, but Kaizen, you uploaded a problem video too. In fact, you have a couple of problem video series. Yes, but I would argue I was one of the first people to do it. And with that being said, I feel like at that point, with the massive amount of attention that it got, from there on out, I feel like people just saw the traction it got and was like, oh, it works, problem videos next. Oh, 30K, let me do it too. And that really wasn't the energy and the predecessor that I was trying to set. I didn't make the problem series videos because, oh, let me hop on the latest trend. Let me get on the. I hopped on it because one day I played a dork. I sat down. I said, you know what? This is turning into the exact same problem that I had in the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm series. That's how the title came out. And the reason that I made that thumbnail in particular, true story, is because I was sitting in the Discord call with a dude named Hidden Miss. This is a meme from the Storm community about basically how people used to gaslight and say that you are the problem if you don't play a certain way or if you have an opinion outside of the meta. And we came up with the title. He said, "You are the problem." And I thought, yo, I need to dead ass make a thumbnail about that because we were just memeing about, and I made it. And that's what the title and thumbnail came. Immediately after that, I feel like nonstop people saw the traction it got and just nonstop. The problem with Sparking Zero, why Sparking Zero failed, the problem with the community, the problem with the player base, the problem with this character, the problem with the maps, the problem, and it feels like you're beating a dead horse to the point where it's just tiresome. I made my rant video. It came from like a genuine standpoint, and I feel like that's the main reason why it did well. Not because, oh, it's the title, not because of the thumbnail. Certainly that helped, but because when I talked about the video, when I made the content, it was a genuine point of just a conversation, talking to the viewers, trying to come up with a conversation and let you guys understand my viewer point, why I feel this way, and what's actually happening in the community. Not because it's the latest trend, not because it's what 20 other dudes made a video about, but because that's what I was currently experiencing. And with that connection, I feel like that's why that video in particularly actually did really well. Because if you guys go back and you check a lot of the comments, a lot of people actually say that. Like, yo, I agree. This is the same standpoint I have. This is the gaming era that I came from. This is why I relate. Maybe some people disagree. They say, hey, man, I feel like you're wrong because of this, this, and that. Other games have this, this, and that. This is why you're wrong. And it was a conversation. It wasn't just me hopping on the latest trend and talking about something because the last guy did it. You can tell the difference in the energy because a lot of the other videos of people making the same titles or videos usually don't have any solutions. They also usually don't have any genuine real standpoints or situations that they can explain to you why they made the video in the first place. Usually it's like, oh well, this happened and this is the problem. And they'll give you like a 15 to 10 minute dragged out video for one point that they have, and then they'll go, all right guys, I'll see you guys in the next video, and they'll plug like 8 different things and then end the video. That's why typically most of them don't do really well, too well outside of like 1 or 2K, but That's to me, that's not a relatively highly successful video. And I feel like at that point, you're just farming the content. You watch somebody else do it, you feel like I gotta do it too because it did well. And that's not real creativity, that's just hopping on the bandwagon. And unfortunately, when it comes to Sparking Zero, I feel like since early-ish November, that's all we've had. We haven't had that much creativity. We haven't had that many people trying to experiment and come up with different things. We've just had people following trends. And unfortunately, hate videos for Sparking Zero became a trend. And with that trend in mind, it absolutely accelerated the reason why the game died. I'm not going to sit here and give the devs a pass and pretend like the game dying off didn't come from their lack of content, their lack of communication, and their lack of genuine care for the game's mechanics. But let's be honest, bro, the game died twice, three times, maybe five times as fast because every time somebody hopped on TikTok, every time somebody hopped on YouTube, every time somebody hopped on an algorithm, all they saw were the problems of Sparking Zero and nobody talked about the good. Sparking Zero is far from a perfect game. It has its flaws, but let me tell y'all, I've had my fair share of fun as well. I talk about the dorks all the time. I talk about how crazy a lot of my experiences are, but I've had a ball with a lot of the community. I've had a ball with a lot of the players, and I've had a ball on a lot of my streams as well. I was one of the only people in the Sparking Zero community to actually stand up, not just make rant videos, and do something about it. And I feel like that's another part of the community aspect that comes with the disconnect of people just farming out content when you don't actually do anything about it. It's one thing to complain about something, it's another thing to just stand back and watch something happen while getting your revenue and getting your clicks off of something you have no intention of actually trying to help. I get it. We're not developers. It shouldn't be our job to fix a community. It shouldn't be our job to put out mods and fix the game for ourselves when $1 billion company won't do it. But I also feel like at a certain point, at a community standpoint, at a servitude standpoint, if you genuinely care about community, if you genuinely care about a game's performance, if you genuinely care about a game's environment, you're gonna at least try to give some positivity, some sort of feedback that allows people to get on the game and say, hey, it's not all bad. Yes, these are the problems. We got plenty of dorks, I'll tell y'all that. Don't play ranked because all you're gonna play your dorks. But hey, look, we got this community here. We got this player match option here. We got this thing here that we're doing that allows you guys to get a break and offer you a place to actually play with other people who want to have fun and enjoy the game in a Tenkaichi like environment. We play for fun, we play our favorite characters, we say GGs, we talk about the culture of Dragon Ball, and we're having a good time. And I feel like, truthfully, realistically, not many YouTubers did that. There were a handful of YouTubers that actually talked about the problems and offered any sort of solutions. And that's because, as I've said in my other video, when I tried to put y'all on and talk about the YouTubers that people don't pay attention to, a lot of people are quick to click on videos and watch people make rant videos, make the same sort of videos talking about why Dragon Ball failed, what the problems are in Sparking videos. Like, they sit there and they farm these videos nonstop. And they also sit back, on the other hand, and give y'all no sort of solutions. They don't give y'all no positive content. And they sit there and eat and eat and eat, and y'all sit there and watch it. And that's why I tried to put y'all on to game and explain to y'all the two sides of the YouTube algorithm that y'all need to be careful about. I feel like the hate for Spartan Zero is outplayed at this point. Yes, we realize that the game definitely undersailed in terms of what we were expecting, the mechanics, the maps, the characters, the customization. But at this point, I feel like it's been screamed to the high heavens how bad the game is or how lackluster the game is without any real life solutions. We're not developers. I don't expect people to do what I did and make discords and clan battle bots. I went above and beyond. I did something that most people wouldn't do, and to be honest, shouldn't have to do for a game that we paid $100+ for with DLC and all the other stuff that we were promised. But at the same point, I feel like if you are gonna sit there and eat in terms of revenue, in terms of community engagement, if you're gonna sit there and farm off videos that you know are gonna work because that's all people look up, that's all people are exposed to, if you actually care about the game, you should also be trying to help it out. That's all I'm saying. You don't have to. Again, YouTuber morality is completely subjective to the person. Some people have absolutely no problem with sitting there watching a game die and eating off of it because they know they'll make a good buck off of it. But if you actually care the way you say you do and the way you advertise yourself to do on many different standpoints, I can respect somebody who actually would try and actually help the community out by hosting events, giving a community space for discords, and genuinely just streaming the game and having fun with the community and any other different positive outlook that would allow people to have a good time with the game that they purchased. Sometimes I look back at my Rant video and wonder if I should have really released it the way I did. Like I said, the reason why I dropped it was for a positive, better outcome for the community. I wanted people to look at the video and maybe think twice about the way that they hop online and engage with each other. Because at the end of the day, when you buy an online game and you go online, you are in fact a part of the community at that point. What you do, whether you care or not, does in fact whether or not the other players enjoying themselves or whether or not they decide that this is an actual positive place they would like to play in or that environment. And I was seeing Spark and Zero become that Storm Connections and Storm 4 like environment where it was becoming super toxic, super hate farming. And I was like, yo, this is Tenkaichi, y'all. This was not what we all wanted to look forward to. If y'all are the same people, the same YouTubers, the same content creators, the same fans that I saw react to this massive games release and the trailers, then we should turn this ship around and make it a more positive community and how we play on ranked, how we release our videos, and how we engage with each other in the community. But unfortunately, it really didn't go anywhere. And despite me trying to do something for the positive of the community, not only did it negatively affect in the long term by people just hopping on the trend of seeing the success of a single video, but I would argue that it's even worse. I mean, seriously, you barely see any positive videos for Sparkling Zero unless it's like a mod or something like that. Anything else is people cloud chasing and clickbaiting for out of context stuff that really just doesn't do anything for the game's long term state. It's just really sad to see Sparking Zero, a good game, go the way it did. And unfortunately, I know people sit here and blame the devs up and down about how bad the game is and how bad they released the game is the devs' fault. But people really sit here and turn a blind eye and underestimate the mass amount of influence the online environment and the online community has had on this game's lifespan. Like I said, I have genuinely never seen a game die out this fast. Really. A game that sold millions of copies, only have hundreds of players online at this point, is really sad. And I get it. I get it. We didn't get what we were promised. It's lackluster on the developers department. But let's be real. Let's stop lying for the sakes of clicks. Let's stop lying for the sake of clout just for a minute. And let's not act like when the game first dropped and for the first few months of the game, it was genuinely fun when we were just playing against each other. People didn't really care about DLC and all that other stuff until it became something that was widespread in the algorithm. Nobody was looking forward to DLC 2 until people started talking about Dyna. Nobody was caring about maps until people said, hey, wait a minute, aren't we supposed to have Hell Map? Aren't we supposed to have Kami's Lookout? Like, yes, maps are a very vital part of the game, but in terms of the mechanics, in terms of the gameplay, people were having a good time until it became a trend to say that it wasn't a good time. And I know most people are going to say that wasn't my experience, but most people's experience for the beginning part of the game was ranked. And I can't even blame a lot of people. When the game first came out, also was crazy for ranked. I haven't been able to play a Dragon Ball game competitively since Raging Blast 2. So of course, my natural first thought was I want to prove and show how many people I really was back in the day of a genuine, good, honest to God Gohan. Without exploits, without bullshit, hop on the game and show my true neutral skills with one of my favorite characters in the Dragon Ball series. But overall, or as time went on, that ranked environment went downhill when meta was introduced, when people started putting people on with dork tactics, with dork characters, and that also came from YouTube algorithm, from Twitter algorithms, from people upholding dorks instead of shutting it down and putting it to the side. But that's another rant for another video, some of which you already heard. The bottom line, what I'm saying is the reason why most people didn't have fun in the beginning part of the game, for the most part, is because all they did was play ranked. Of course, they're going to say how bad the game was when it dropped because all you did was hop on ranked. And, buddy, if I tell you guys how much fun I had off stream and how much fun I had with my tournaments, how much fun I had with my Discord community, how much fun I had with people in player matches, I can't explain how much fun it was to just play people with neutral without dork-like characters. Were people cheesing? Yes. And I gotta be real, even when I did play ranked at a certain level when I did my long-term streams, you guys can go back and check for yourself. I'm not lying. I got so good to the point where it was nothing to play against nothing but Jirans. I ran across nothing but Jirans, nothing but Brolys. nothing but UI Gokus, nothing but Super Saiyan 4 Gogetas. Did I lose to some? Absolutely. But it was a good 80 to 85% win rate if I ran against crazy head crack characters. And I had even more fun when I played against people playing regular characters. So to me, in my beginning part of the game, didn't really matter that much. Was I tired of fighting dorks? Absolutely. You guys can hear me in my streams crashing out against dudes getting easy win screens because that's the easiest way to do it. I don't like people who play nothing but dork-like characters because look, I'm a Z rank right. Like I'm a Z rank now. But at the same time, I did have a lot of fun when the game first came out, and I feel like that's ignored. I feel like people look at YouTube, they look at Twitter, they look at the latest trends, and they go, "Yep, I agree." And they agree because the large majority of people do so, instead of really looking at how they feel on the inside and giving actual valid reasons for why they support or, decide against something. And that's what I'm going to say about the terms of trends, the terms of people hate farming, sparking zero. And you guys can hear it on my tone. I'm not happy to make these types of videos. This isn't something I want to make because I want to get an algorithm. This isn't something I want to make because, it's something to get clicks on. I'm genuinely sad to see Sparking Zero in the current state it is in because a lot of people that get clicks, a lot of people that get views, a lot of people that said they were going to do stuff for this game are frauds. And that's the truth about the matter. That's the truth that Sparking Zero has showed me that a lot of people who claim to care about these games and these anime games and these series don't care, man. It's just a click. A lot of them don't have solutions. A lot of them don't want to help for the solutions because it's a lot easier to sit back and make a dollar than actually do something about it. And it's sad, man. So that's all I'm going to say about the Sparking Zero hate. People are going to continue to do it because that's the latest trend. That's probably going to be the trend until the game dies off completely, unfortunately. And I feel bad for the people who actually try to do stuff for the community. I feel bad for people who do tournaments, try to show you guys community events, try to organize stuff, and they don't really get any traction because all people want to do is watch hate farm videos. And it's really sad to see one of the greatest games that could have been of all time, one of the greatest franchises that could have been of all time go out like this. Do I think the devs are completely clear? No. Despite what they did with the patches and how fast they patched it, it's no excuse for us to get Daima with lackluster DLC, but you don't see me sitting here making a bad Daima DLC video because I know it's going to get clicks. We know it's bad. 18 other dudes on YouTube already talked about how bad it is. I don't need to be 19th, right? And I feel like at this point, people are doing stuff because it works, and nobody's really trying to make any solutions. Nobody's making any good gameplay video content. Nobody's making any interesting, creative Sparking Zero content. It's just following the latest bandwagon, and it's sad to see, man. But that's been Kaizen's rant. Let me know what you guys think down below. How do you feel about the state of Sparking Zero? What do you think that you would do as a content creator? You would do as an individual to help the scene? And if you guys would like to still play Sparking Zero in a fun environment, if you guys still want to play the game and you feel like despite everybody's bullshit, you are still having fun with the game, because even me off stream, I hop on every once in a while. Even on quick match, you still will find a dork playing nothing but UI, but in between some matches, you will find somebody just having fun playing the game. Those are the fun matches. But if you want to play the game, have fun, enjoy Sparking Zero for what it's supposed to be, I have a Discord open where I invite people who play neutral, who have skill, want to play fun game matches and talk about the Dragon Ball environment, talk about games in general, have a fun, good time like we used to on the old PS2 couches. Join up in the Discord, it's completely free. We have clan battle systems, we have 6v6s, we have moderators actively running clan battles and giving you guys a welcoming, fun Dragon Ball environment for you guys who are actually good at the game and want to play with skill. That's all for this guys video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.
My fate doesn't matter. I defeated you. That's all.